Welcome to the Rooted Goddess podcast with your host, Leslie Sprague, where we talk all things wellness, woo-woo, life, and everything in between. As a small-town mom of two amazing kiddos, I understand the challenges of what it's like to stay grounded and go after your dreams. My goal for this podcast is to inspire you to root down so you can grow stronger, rise up, and let your light shine bright so you can be the goddess you are truly meant to be. Think of this as your one-stop shop. It's happy hour with a gal pal while getting truthful and heartfelt about taking the steps forward to living your best life. Hi, and welcome to the Rooted Goddess podcast. I'm your host, Leslie Sprague. So the last little bit, we've been talking about reconnecting with ourselves and not knowing exactly where to start. One of the things that I am a firm believer in, and especially lately in my business, it's just reaffirmed this. So this is a little bit newer of a belief. But you need to get clear in order to get free or have a vision of where you want to go. So let me start off with a story from my life. So in a lot of the trainings that I've done, and this is a little bit more of a business perspective, but it's still 110 applies to personal life. A lot of the business trainings that I have taken recently have talked about getting clear. So for example, I need to get clear on who it is that I want to serve, who it is that I want to work with, and just get clear on what my vision is for my business. The same is true for your personal life. How can you know where you want to go if you haven't looked back at, okay, let's say you look at the past year, what worked for me this year, what didn't work for me, what were some of the patterns that I created in my life in these past years, or what are lessons that I've learned, because you keep learning a lesson until you get it. So quite often, for example, you can hear of the person in an abusive relationship, for example, let's say, and they finally get the courage and leave that relationship, but they still haven't learned what they needed to learn, if that makes sense, from that. So their next relationship might not be physically abusive, but maybe it's verbally abusive, or there's still something that person needs to know. And I know that's kind of a harsh example, but I think it's the one that people may resonate to the most, because it's kind of, you kind of feel like, well, duh, why are you back in the same situation? You attract the same people. So you need to get clear on how you want to feel. There's a question for you. How do you want to feel in your life? And maybe you've never thought about that before. Maybe this is a new concept for you, but for me, these are some of the feeling words that I am working with right now. I want to feel rooted. And hence the name of this podcast, I want to feel so solid in my foundation that as I grow up, my foundation, if you think of like a house, your foundation is solid. So then your house isn't going to blow over. So if I'm rooted into who I am, where I am, and where I'm going, I can rise up to blossom and be who I'm meant to be. I also want to be clear. Speaking of clarity, I want to be clear in what I have to offer, where I'm going. I want to have a clear vision. I've kind of been a little bit wishy-washy before on this, but I feel like there's a shift within me that I need to change the way I look at things. And yeah, so I want to have connection. I want to connect with people. I want to connect with myself, with my kids, my husband, and I don't want my connection to be with my kids on a constantly angry, negative note. Yes, I still have those moments. It's a work in progress, and I'm sure we all are the same way. I want to be passionate. I want to be confident, and I want to have abundance, and I want ease in my life. I don't want to feel like I'm swimming upstream all the time. So, this is just some ideas to get you thinking. How do you want to feel in your life? Start with that, then, and also looking back at where you have been. What worked? What didn't? What were you grateful for? Because no matter how good, bad, or ugly the past has been, it has still made you who you are today. You are still stronger because of it. And you know what? That saying, I have a love-hate relationship with it, because when you're in that muck, you're in those trenches, and you're trying to get yourself back to being you. If I heard one more person say, this is only making you stronger, I wanted to rip my hair out. But at the same time, I knew the value and the importance of it. Being immersed in that muck, you don't realize what is happening and what shifts you are making, because you're in the trenches, right? You're not looking at it from that bird's eye view. You're not seeing that bigger picture that is in store for you. So sometimes we got to remind ourselves that, you know what, the trenches are key. And we need to look back and be thankful for what has brought us to where we are. Look at the highs and the lows. What do you want more of? What can you stop doing? What is no longer serving your highest good? So, by examining these key areas, it helps to create a vision for how you want your life to look, how you want your life to be, how you want your life to feel. Oh, that is so important. Quite often we talk about mindset, and don't get me wrong, mindset is very important, but we forget to connect with how we want to feel. I was just talking with my coach earlier this morning about this, and quite often I would set goals and I kind of had a negative connotation to them, because I would just set them and not have any action with them, not have any clear idea of how that was going to come about, where I wanted to oh, train of thought just went out the station. Yeah, so by getting clear on where we want to go, we know how to take it. Will create a clearer path on the next steps that we need to take. Yeah, we need to get clear to get free. So we need to let go of some of the baggage that we're carrying with us. And um, because if you're carrying all this extra quote unquote weight, excess baggage, you're not letting go of things from the past, then that helps to, or that holds you back from becoming who you are meant to be. So, yeah, I invite you to sit and ponder that for a little bit. What do you need to clear the path of so that you can be free, let that light shine, and be who you are meant to be? Yeah. Deep stuff, right? And you might not have thought of this before. And you know what? If you're not sure, okay, how do I do that? Get out a pen and paper. Start writing things down. And if you can't, you're not sure what to write down or what you need to clear, just start writing. Sometimes the words that come out of from your pen and paper will surprise you. Thank you so much for listening, and let me give you a virtual hug, oh, big squeeze, as a token of my appreciation. At the very least, I hope you had some fun while listening, and maybe even learned a thing or two. And bonus points if I got a chuckle out of you. If you liked this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could leave me a 5-star review, or if you know someone who could benefit from listening, share it on your Insta stories and tag me at Leslie's Yoga and Wellness. Subscribe to this channel if you want to stay up to date with new episodes. By doing these things, it helps to get my podcast noticed so that people who need to hear my message are more attracted to it. Please feel free to stop by my website, lesliespragg.com, and grab a copy of my free Mom Self-Care Kit. While you're there, grab a free few yoga classes. Namaste, goddesses. Until next time.